Thanks for stopping by the channel, guys. I want to do a quick update video on where things stand with the overhaul on the BNSF HO scale layout. All right, guys, so here's some photos of the old layout in its entirety. It's got rolling stock, it's got the buildings with industries on it, and slowly you'll see that stuff come off. I was able to salvage most of it, along with all the pine trees. The rest of the scenery got scrapped, including the printed backdrop. I had to remove sections of the backdrop. I added some additional shelf brackets for the upper shelf. While I had things tore apart, I pulled all of the benchwork for the upper shelves off because I cut that back from 15 inches deep to 12 inches deep. In the lower level, I cut from 20 inches deep back to 16 inches deep. I also rebuilt the benchwork into and out of the helix while I had everything tore apart, just to ensure smooth operations in the future. Okay, guys, so once I got all the benchwork cut back and reinstalled, the upper deck sets at 12 inches deep, the lower deck sets at 16 inches deep. It doesn't sound like a huge difference, it's about 4 inches overall, but it makes this room 9 foot by 10 foot feel a lot bigger. So once I had the benchwork back up, I went ahead and drilled holes for my lighting and for my electrical bus, and I worked to get those installed. All right, so now that I got the benchwork all cut back to the new width and reinstalled, I installed some of the shelf brackets for some extra bracing on the upper level. What I'm going to do is I've cut a bunch of 1x3 cleats that I'll attach to the wall with the studs. I'm going to use just a pin nailer, throw a couple brads in there to hold them. They're not anything massive as far as structure, so a couple brads will hold just fine. But I'm going to get those installed on the lower level and the upper level where I need to, so that I can get the backdrop panels reinstalled. All right, so I got all my 1x3 cleats installed on the wall, and then I was able to reattach the backdrop panels. I had to cut a couple of new ones, but it's all the 1/8 inch masonite. I'll have to do a little bit of filling before I paint it, but that's all done. Okay, guys, so I'm getting ready to install the lights, so I got to drill some new holes. I'm going to go about 3 inches back from the front edge of my benchwork. I'll come back 3 inches. And I'm just drilling some 3/8 diameter holes so that I can run all of my LED strip lighting through it. I had to get one more set of the LED lighting strips. This one is 16 foot, so this will do everything that I need that I have left on the layout. So we'll open this up. It comes in a bag, and then let me cut it all open. So we'll open it up. So we got our bundle of lights here. It's all on a reel. There's our instructions. This one has a remote control. You can do some different things, but you can turn the brightness up or fade them out. So I'll get it set where I like it, and then I'll just leave it. This one plugs in. This set is not battery operated. Plugs into the wall. Here's our connection. So what we'll do is we will take this tape here, break that, and then we can just start feeding our wire through the holes that we drilled in the benchwork and get these installed. So here's a shot of the layout without the lighting, and then here's one with the lighting. What a difference that makes. So on to the next thing. We'll run the main power bus for the upper deck. So here's a couple sections of the old bus line that I used on the upper deck. You can see it's got the feeders coming off of it. I use these little suitcase connectors to make those connections, but I don't want to reinstall this. It's better why I've got it tore apart, just to go back with new. I'll run it along the center of the upper deck here. I'll have to drill holes like we did for the LED lighting strips, and then just pull the wire in, and then I'll leave it long, and I'll be able to come down from the upper deck back behind the backdrop and tie in with the bus lines on the lower deck, and that will give power to everything. We'll come back and we'll install all of our feeders later once we know the exact track plan and where we need to bring those up. So you can see I drilled some 3/8 inch holes just right down the kind of the center of the upper deck alignment. Now we can pull the main bus lines, and then any feeder lines that we need to run up to track after that can come off either way. So that's why I went down the center. So you can see I got the main bus for the electrical for the upper deck pulled. I just ran it through the 3/8" holes that we drilled, and this will finish this up for now. We'll have to come back later once we get our track down and clip in the feeders using those suitcase connectors, but that'll be in a future video. So the last thing I want to do in this video is I want to get this little workstation area, get the work surface mounted, and it's just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that's 22 inches deep and 3 foot wide, and then I knocked off the corners just for it'll be a little bit more user friendly. If I bump into it, it won't have the sharp corners. So I've got 2 heavy duty shelf brackets that I'm gonna mount to the wall. I've found a couple of studs, so I'll get those mounted. I've got my laser level set up at 29¼ inches so that the top of the work surface will be right at 30 inches. So that'll be a comfortable height from a regular chair. So I'll shoot this on time lapse. Alright guys, so I got the work surface set on top of those shelf brackets. By the way, I used number 10 by 2 inch long screws to mount those shelf brackets to the wall. I'm going to use some number 10 by 5/8 of an inch long screws to secure the work surface to the top of the brackets. Okay guys, you can see I've got the electrical bus main lines hanging down here. They're connected up to the lower level on the other end of the layout. Those will ultimately end up being feeders there. You can see I got the 1-inch rigid insulation foam is all down and secured all the way around the layout. I got the little workstation desk installed. That's awesome. As we keep panning around here, on the upper level I got a sub fascia installed in this area between the upper shelves, and that allowed me to install the LED lighting up there, which kind of ties that section in with the rest of the layout. I really like that. Coming around this way, you can see I got some of the shelving I wanted to work on below the lower deck for storage. I got some of that installed. I still got a little bit more I want to do. Here you can see I've got the backdrop all in. I got to get some primer on this, and but it's a pretty good start. So if you'd like to follow along with this project as it moves forward, hit the subscribe button and notification button so you can know when the new videos come out. I'll try to get videos out probably once a week or once every 10 days or so, keep you guys up to date on the progress. But anyways, thanks for watching guys. Happy railroading.